there is so much coming to a head right now in relation to Europe. And the fact that Trump is pulling out of funding Ukraine and has pulled out of the WHO, Europe doesn't represent a big enough marketplace financially for China and for Russia and for India to really get along if they go completely against the United States. And basically Trump is pulling out of the deep state to a great extent. You know, we've talked a lot about this whole technocratic thing that is the next level we got to be aware of. But in terms of just the global domination agenda through creating these regional continent management groups like the European Union and the North American Union, Pacific Union, and that type of stuff, I think that the Pacific Union is going to fall apart. The European Union is now falling apart. And people like Ursula von der Leyen, the president of the European Union, she's just saying such ridiculous stuff now, trying to keep the movement going toward the New World Order. She even talks about it as the New World Order, but now she's trying to substitute freedom and democracy. Like the purpose of the New World Order is to rescue freedom and democracy, and it's just not holding up, especially as they're going for their geoengineering stuff in the UK. In the UK, they're arresting people for dissenting posts on Facebook. They're arresting people for praying silently near abortion centers. I mean, they're trying to go full on police state social credit score in the European Union. And I think that there are enough people awake now that it's not going to work. And I think it's particularly going to fall apart over the funding of Ukraine, because Starmer in the UK and Macron in France and a few others, they tried to get together and say, oh, we don't need the US, we'll fund the continuation of the war in the Ukraine. But they don't have the money to do that, and they don't have the political popularity to do that. And at the same time, they're suppressing the candidacies of people like Georgescu in Romania and Le Pen in France and Bolsonaro in Brazil. And it goes on and on. Anytime that someone is actually coming in based on a platform of principles, of free market, of voluntary association, of individual rights, they're trying to say, oh, they're far right, they're Hitler. And therefore, they are literally canceling elections if the person is leading. Then they're trumping up charges and putting them in jail. This has happened at least 3 times already. One guy was an assassination attempt. He took 5 bullets and still survived. And the common denominator is that they're all so-called conservatives who are actually, populists trying to bring back natural free markets and individual sovereignty. So it's going to be a very dangerous thing as it plays out. But I think the collapse of Europe as countries go, oh, wait a minute, that's not what I signed up for. And now you're trying to take over our currency, you're trying to take over our language, and you're trying to take over our sovereignty. I don't think it's going to work. So I think we're going to be watching the collapse of the New World Order, and we're going to be watching what they try to sustain that drive toward a one world totalitarian government. And I think that the main thing is going to be technocracy.